Good morning, students. In last class, we have discussed the comparative morphology as well as the anatomy. Where here morphology is having very important question. One is homologous organ as well as the analogous organs. Homologous organs means having the same structure, origin and structure is the same, but performing different function, so we can call as a homologous organ. And in analogous organ, origin and structure is the different, but the function is same, so we can call that as the analogous organ. So homologous organs are also called as a divergent revolution, and the analogous organs we can use the word as the convergent and evolutions. That are we discussed in the last class. Next, coming to the second one, that is an evidences for the embryology. And second one, evidences for embryology. So here embryology means we know that the producing of organism from embryo to an adult. So here the studying of the embryos means from egg stage to an adult stage, what are the stages are taken place, that detailed studying about the growing of the fetus from a zygote to an adult, then this branch we can call as an embryology. So here in embryology it shows that the organisms, that means in embryology, here embryology is studying about the organism from egg to an adult stage. An adult stage. So this studying of we can call as an embryology. So in this embryology, we will discuss the studying of embryo development as well as the organs formations, and also an organ system formations are taken place in embryology. That means here we will study about embryo development as well as the organs formation as well as organ formations. So these all where will taken place, that means development of embryo, the organs formation as well as organ system formation, where here it develops into an adult organism. So such stages where we will study about, so we can call that as an embryology. So if you see in all metazoans, in all metazoans, here meta means after and zoan means animals. These are the animals where they are later formation of the animals, so we can call as a metazoans. So from these metazoans we can use the word from an protozoporiferans, from a poriferans to the chordates, including including up to mammalians. Here we'll have all these, we can call them as a preference, or from we can call them as metazoans. Meta means after, that means the first formed organisms are protozoans, the first formed animals are the protozoans. Later development organisms, we can call them as metazoans. These metazoans will carry from preference to the mammalians or chordates. So if you see in these all these here, it helpful for the formation of a single celled, that is called as the single celled, a single celled called as a zygote. So here the single cell which is presenting, we can call as a zygote. From this zygote will undergoes a mitotic divisions, will undergoes a repeated mitotic divisions, repeated mitotic divisions, where here this stage we can call as a cleavage. From a cleavage, if you see from the cleavage here undergoes a next stage where it is called as a blastula, where here the blastula, this blastula will having the blastomeres, will consist of the blastomeres, where here it forms into a blastocele, that is the embryonic stage. Second embryonic stage is a blastocele. This is converted into a gastrula, where here it forms a three germ layers. So from these three germ layers will develop into an adult organism, where we can able to differentiate a different organs formation as well as the organ system formation is taken place, so that here it helpful for the formation of an adult an organism. So in all metazoans will having the same cells, that is from a single celled stage only development is taken place. And also if you see in chordates, here the first formed the single celled we can call as the zygote. This zygote is appears like a fish larval stage of the fish, where here gills formations are taken place, as well as a two chambered heart is presenting, where here it developing, where a tail formation is taken place, later gradually increases, and where it develops into an adult organism. So here the larval stage of the fish, the larval stage of the fish is a common ancestral form of the human beings, that is all chordates are evolved from the fishes only, where he will having the single zygote, and also a fish tadpole larva of the fish stage will be taken place, where a gills formation, a two chambered heart, as well as here it helpful for formation of limb formations are taken place. So these are the ancestral characters, where here it shows the evidences for the embryology. That is mainly that is produced, that means from a single cell it develops into zygote, from zygote it develops into blastula, from blastula to the gastrula, where here will having the single stage, that is from these three germ layers, here it develops into an organs, the forms of organs formations, as well as the organ system formation, where it develops into an individual organisms, and shows the common ancestral characters are shown, where this is an example where we can show the evidences for the embryology. Here it is an embryology, means it is a formation from the organism from egg to the an adult stage. Here egg stage we can call as a zygote formation, where it is a single cell, it is undergoes a cleavage, develops into an adult an organism, and shows a common ancestral characters. Here we will showing the ancestral characters. Ancestral characters are shown in these. So this shows how the embryonic development, embryology is developed for the evidences of the evolution. This is one of second, that is evidences for the embryology. Next, coming to the third one, that is so here coming to the third one, that is evidences for the physiology. So here we know that physiology means knowing about, it is a studying of functioning of organs in an organism, that is knowing about the functioning of various types of organs present in an organism. So such branch we can call as the functioning as well as the defects or the disorders which are taken place in an organism. The total we can call as a physiology. Here physiology means studying about the functioning of functioning and also disorders of various organs present in organism, in an organism. So here in the organism, here organs are presenting, these organs will develop the organ system. Here will having these organs will develop the organ system, where these organs will functions in the form of organ system, and also here these organs, that functioning of organs as well as organ system in the organism, and also shows the disorders. Disorders means if any diseases are taken place, what are the steps should be taken place for an organ or organ system. So such type of branch where we'll study about the functioning and the disorders of various organs present in an organism, we can call as a physiology. So in this we can take on place, the first one is protoplasm. So here we know that the protoplasm will consist of at molecular level in living organisms consist of same basic chemical composition. That means at molecular level, at a molecular level, the organism will consist of the same chemical composition, same chemical composition such as nucleic acids, and also here will consist of the nucleic acids, the carbohydrates, as well as the proteins, and also the fatty acids, fatty acids present in an organisms. So you will having the same chemical composition. Same chemical composition means you will having in a prebiotic component in prebiotic component. In prebiotic component, what are the elements are presenting? Elements are presenting the same elements will be presenting in the protoplasm only, such as nucleic acids, DNA, carbohydrates, that is sugars, amino acids, hippuric acid, or otherwise urea. These are the various types of components where they are presenting in the protoplasm, where this shows that they having the same chemical composition. That means the first formed a cell where it is formed, that is heterotrophic cell. In biological evolution or molecular evolution, here the first form cell, what are the components are presenting in a protoplast of the cell. Here the same cell will containing in living organisms also the same type of components are presenting. There is no changes. So that this shows that an evolution is taken place from an ancestral forms. And also here it shows that second one, if you see in here, that is the enzymes. Enzymes. Here enzymes means these are the, we can call them as the biological enzymes, we can call as biological catalysts. We can call them as the biological catalyst, where we can call them as biological catalyst means why means they initiates the reaction but does not be participate in the chemical reaction. So these we can call as an enzymes. So in all enzymes, that means from a single cell organism to the multicellular organism, the same enzyme will performs the same function only, not any other functions. For example, if you take in place if you take an enzyme that is amylase enzyme. So amylase enzyme will acts on carbohydrates. It acts upon the enzyme where it converts the carbohydrates into monosaccharides. So here amylase, it is an enzyme where it acts upon the carbohydrates. This enzyme will be presenting in all the organism. The same enzyme will performs the same function only. So that here it shows that the ancestral characters of an organism, where evidences in the physiology also this shows in the evolution. So here not only that one, here a trypsin, if you say second place a trypsin, it acts upon it acts on carbohydrates, it acts on the proteins. It acts on the proteins. So likewise here, if you taken place the hormones also, if you taken place the hormones, if you taken place an example, an insulin hormone, this insulin hormone will act upon the maintenance of the sugar level. It is a maintenance of a sugar level in the blood. That will be taken place by an insulin hormone. Likewise thyroid hormone or thyroxine. So the thyroxine hormone will be helpful for the maintenance of the heat. That means it maintains the heat. So here all hormones, or otherwise if it taken place, there are different type of hormones, growth hormones, or if it taken place a growth hormones, or thyroid or stimulating hormone, or the follicle stimulating hormones, the gonads, the male and female gonads which are presenting, that will be produced, the same type of hormone will produce, will having a specific function in all organisms. So here what are the enzymes are presenting, or hormones, or biochemical substances. Here the structure of the carbohydrates, if it taken place biochemical structure or biochemistry, here biochemistry means bio means living organisms, chemistry the reactions which are taken place in living organisms, the reactions taken place in living organisms, living and organisms. So we can call that as branch, we can call as biochemistry. So that here the structural formula of the carbohydrates, the structure of the carbohydrates, or the structure of the proteins, or lipids, or hormones, or the enzymes will be the same structure. They will having the same structure, and the enzyme activity, or what are the characters are taken place, the same characters will having in all organism, will having the same type of characters, or the chemical composition will be the same, will be presenting in all organisms. So that from an organism, from single cell to the multicellular, here will having the same type of characters will be presenting in all organisms, where here it shows that the ancestral characters from a living organism, wherein ancestral characters will show that evolution is taken place. These are the evidences where it shows in a physiology, that is an evidences for the physiology. So in these will having different, that is enzymes, hormones, biochemical structures will be taken place, that will having, and also here will shows a metabolical processes, same metabolic process. That means here will having the same metabolic process. For example, if it taken place in all green plants, in all green plants will having the same photosynthesis, will having the same type of the photosynthesis, where they can prepare their own food materials with the help of chlorophyll pigments. So with the help of chlorophyll, they prepare their own food materials from a single celled organism to the multicellular. That means all green plants, that is either single cell or a multi-cell plants, will having the same process. They can prepare their own food materials by the process of photosynthesis, that is metabolical and activities. Otherwise, if it taken place the respiratory system, or respiratory system, or the circulatory system. So, or otherwise if it taken place an urinary system, or any type of system which is taken place, that will having the same process will be taken place in all organism. Respiration, it is carried by the respiratory pigment is carried by the hemoglobin, or different respiratory pigments are presenting in different organisms. So that main function is they helpful for carrying of oxygen to different parts of the body. Likewise, circulatory system, the blood and lymph will carry all essential elements, nutrients or food materials, or what are the essential elements that are transported, and also they transported the waste materials to the kidney for excretion, and also excretory organ will eliminate the excretory waste materials or toxic substances which are produced in our body that are eliminated by the an excretory system. Or otherwise, if you take a nervous system, a muscular coordination response to stimulus will be taken place in all organism will having the same type of response that will having a brain, and also the nerve ganglions are presenting, but in humans it is well developing. So here will having a different system, that is central nervous system, autonomous as well as the peripheral nervous system. This system will coordinate with response to the stimulus. Likewise, if you see in glycogenesis or gluconeogenesis, or otherwise if it taken place glycolysis or Krebs cycle. So here the glycolysis as well as Krebs cycle. That glycolysis and Krebs cycle this is also a type of a metabolical processes. These are also a metabolic processes where these are will having the same type of reactions. All organisms, in all organisms these type of reactions are taken place in on all organisms, where it shows from an ancestral characters. That means from ancient organisms to the highly developed humans will having the same type of metabolical processes are taken place. They are not differ from one organism to the another organism. The same system or metabolical process will having, if you taken one metabolical process that will be taken place in all animals, will having the same function will be taken place, not any other functions. So this will shows that the evidences are they produced from the ancestral characters. For example, if it taken place heart in fishes, there is a two-chambered heart. From two-chambered it develops into three-chambered heart in amphibians. In reptiles, here incompletely three-chambered. In aves and mammals will having a four-chambered heart. That means your heart is developed from the species, that is the fishes. From heart, that is where is the origin of that, means from species, your ancestral characters, that is from species it is well development is taken place from two-chambered to the four-chambered heart is developed, where that is shows the ancestral characters in an organisms. This physiology will also shows that the evidences for the an evolution. So that is a concept, that is physiology in an that is evidences for the evidences for the evolution in the physiology. So next in next class we will discuss the evidences shows that in paleontology, and also will shows further we can discuss in the next class.